Hi, Cutie Pies. It's Lanikia, and I am coming to you with Basketball Wives Reunion. As you can see, like, I didn't even take notes for this. I'm just so disgusted with this show at this point that I don't even care, and I wasn't gonna I'm not gonna sit down and take notes and do a full review. I'm just gonna give my thoughts on what happened so far. So they just start off with the reunion, and everybody's coming and getting ready, and you see Evelyn goes to Shawnee's dressing room, and she's really like throwing shade at OG the whole time. And yes, I saw like all the like y'all. I'm so disgusted with this show. I didn't even watch it on TV because I didn't want to give them a review. Excuse me, I didn't want to give them that view to get that rating. I didn't want to even give them that. I didn't want to give them the Nelson sound scan, I believe it is. I didn't even want to give them that. Like, that's how much I hate this show. I watched this on, you know how they had a little things on YouTube where you can type in Basketball Wives and someone's uploaded the video or whatever and you can watch it that way. That's how I watched it, because I'd rather give someone on YouTube the AdSense money than to watch them and give them that, especially when Shawnee went live. I didn't see the whole live, but I saw bits and pieces of it because honestly, I'm sick of her and I don't even care. But I heard where she said, "Oh, y'all are too invested. Y'all are too invested." So if I'm that invested, then I'm not going to give you the rating that you need to keep yourself on VH1. And I'm not gonna watch any more shows after this. Like, I'm gonna do like a short review next week again over the reunion, and then I'm done with Basketball Wives. Like, I'm not watching Basketball Wives Dallas. I'm not doing any of it at this point. I'm just sick of it. I am just 1000% just sick of it. Like, I cannot. So this is gonna be a super quick video. Forgive me. I have scripted shows that I need to catch up on and get done. I can't even do it. Like, I can't even watch Married to Medicine this season or any of the other reality shows because I hate this show so much in the way it represents us on camera. Like, I just hate it so much. But anyways, and then you see that Evelyn suing OG and all of that, and I'm just like, man, we've seen you say racist statements on, like, you could just go to, you don't even have to for defamation of character. Like, girl, I cannot, I can't even believe people would want to have her endorse anything that they have anyways. Like, she's always fighting, she's running across tables, she's throwing things. Like, even this season she tried to attack Jen. She tried to buck up on Dominique and then realized Dominique isn't what she wanted and bagged back and said, y'all go talk to her for me. I feel like y'all should go talk. Like, oh my gosh. Anyways, so the reunion comes on. I thought Jennifer was very, like, Jennifer is like that model type, so she's always really pretty. Like, that's how much I can't stand Evelyn and Shaw. Y'all make me like Jennifer. That's how much I can't stand y'all. I thought, I didn't really like Jackie's look. I don't like when she pulls her hair back like that. I like when she has it down or something. I like it. I like that. I thought Cece looked really pretty before she left. Kristen was okay. Malaysia I thought was okay. Shawnee okay. I think Jennifer just stole the show from me. So the other girls compared to her just looked okay. And I hated Evelyn's look. And no, it's not because I don't like her. But, like, I don't know. It was something about the look. I hated everything about it. And I didn't like OG's look. Even though I love me some OG, I didn't like that look. I thought she had, like, her eyelashes were too much. Or whatever. Okay, so we get to this. They all get to the reunion and they're getting dressed. And Jennifer is like, oh yeah, gonna meet with these bees or whatever. And we see Shawnee gets dressed and Evelyn comes in and she's calling OG Toji. She's just throwing a lot of comments and they're just talking about how, oh, I'm so frightened to be around her and all that kind of stuff. So they started the narrative then. And so then we see, like, everyone's getting ready. We see OG getting ready, and she's just talking about how she's looking forward to being vindicated in this reunion episode. And so then we see Mark come to OG, and it's like, if I'm missing some parts, it's just because I don't care. I'm sorry. I just don't care about, like, it's just so frustrating to watch. But okay, so then we see Mark go to OG, and he tells her there's security concerns. And some of the women won't film with her. And she's like, no, if I'm not going to be on the stage, I will leave. I will leave right now. And he was like, well, Tammy was going to be here and she had requested her own stage. And I'm like, I don't know when y'all thought Tammy was going to be there, because she been done told her, like, she told us she wasn't going to be there way before the reunion ever. Like, no one, the fans never expected Tammy to be there, even before we found out, like, when all the articles come out, like, Tammy was a no-show at the reunion, and we were all like, well, why would you think she would come? As soon as Tammy got up and said that was her last season and she was done with Basketball Wives, we knew we would never see her again on this show. So that was that. And then, so OG is upset about that. So then they go to Jackie, and I like Jackie, but I feel like sometimes Jackie wants to fit in and she doesn't want to be in the middle, that she doesn't address things the way I guess I would like her to. Like, she doesn't have their back that way. So he was like, because some of the people feel like, she's a liability, she should, or whatever. And she's like, okay, or whatever. So then he goes to Cece, and Cece is like, what's going on? So he pretty much says he's went to OG 3 or 4 times trying to get her to do the reunion on a side couch or whatever. So she's saying no. She hasn't, and she tells him, I have not done it. Like, I haven't thrown tables, I haven't thrown drinks, I haven't ran across tables, I haven't assaulted anyone, so why should I be separated? Why not put the people who have done these things separately? And that does make sense. I don't understand it. But anyways, so they all, Mark, Jackie, and Cece go to OG's room, and they try to find out what's going on. And OG is just like, I'm not doing it. Like, if you don't want to, like, I feel like I should be able to say, move them to the other couch. They've done all those things, so how am I a threat? Like, she doesn't understand. The same thing we've been saying all season. And so then Cece is just like, well, if she's not going to do it, if she's leaving or whatever, I'm leaving too. And we find out that Byron was actually there. Later on in the show, we find out that Byron was there and he left with them. He was like, okay, let's bounce. And Kwame was there and he said, this is a bunch of BS. And Jackie was just like, oh my gosh. And I wish Jackie, because they truly have Jackie's back. And she was like, well, we could just do the couch on another scene. And they showed it to him. And she was like, oh, that's much nicer than the real couch. So we can just go over there and do it. Or whatever. But Jackie's just like, no. But OG is just like, no. So she and Cece leave. That it is what it is. So then Jackie goes and she's going to get on the seat. Now they are running 2 hours behind or whatever, because this whole drama has happened. And what I find funny is that Evelyn, Malaysia, and all them are like, well, what they going to do if we get up and leave? Like, they will have no show. We don't want to see y'all anyways. Like, I don't even really care about watching it next week. The only reason I'm still going to watch it is because OG is on it or whatever, and I want to see what happens with that. And then that whole thing at the end where Shani is like, I need to talk about colorism. Not if you're not going to tell the truth. No, you don't need to speak on it anymore if you're not going to tell the truth about it. And that's why you jumped on and gave that whole statement and got Shaq on the live and everything, talking about you were with me. And I'm like, y'all are so, like, there have been so many black women, light-skinned black women, women of color, but they're not black, but they consider themselves women of color or people of color. White women, all these different women who will date a black man, and he can be a dark-skinned black man and still not like the counterpart, which is the black woman, especially if she is dark-skinned. Like, stop it. Like, that's ignorance. That's an unintelligent statement to be like, well, because I was with Shaq and he's dark-skinned and I have dark-skinned children, I can't be colorist. That's an unintelligent statement. And that's what frustrates me about this show. They say silly things and think that it's the truth. And like, well, if I say this, that's got to be true. And like, no, that's not. Just because you say it doesn't mean that's reality. That's reality, and that's unintelligent. But anyways, so Jackie is about to go on stage and everything, and she's like, Jackie always sits beside the host. So she's like, I want to sit beside the host. So she's about to walk off because she can't sit beside the host. I'm saying, okay, Jackie, so your friend not being able to sit with y'all and everything, that'd make you walk off. But not being able to sit beside the host makes you walk off. And at this point, I don't think Jackie really needs basketball wives, but I think she really enjoys it. And so she's not, it doesn't matter what's happening with her friends. It doesn't matter who dislikes her. She doesn't care about all that because she's going to sit where she just wants to be on this show. And being on this show, she's like, I'm going to sit where I want to sit, and that's it. If y'all don't get to sit there, enjoy your views. And so instead of Shani just going to Malaysia or Evelyn or whoever and being like, hey, can you move so Jackie can sit here? She's just, can you move? Because Jackie is throwing it. Like, shut up. Like, I cannot stand Shani at this point. Shut up. Go over there and sit down. Just tell them they need to move because Jackie is going to, like, it didn't even make sense how y'all were trying to set up the seatings anyways. Put Evelyn over there beside you because you and she are very good friends anyways. And let Jackie sit where she was going to sit. If Malaysia doesn't want to sit beside Jackie, then move her. Like, it's not that big of a deal. So they rearranged the seating and everything, and then the show finally starts. And the audience had been waiting like 2 hours or whatever. I don't care. like y'all wanted to be on the show, so you go sit there and wait 2 hours until whatever time the show starts. Whatever. Like, I don't know why they was making that big of a deal, because the show was late, and then they were like, oh, y'all were waiting 2 hours. Well, y'all had them waiting, because if y'all had never done that with OG, y'all could have started on time. But anyway, so we get into the show, and it starts with Phoebe and Jackie doing their little thing. I don't care because I don't really care for Phoebe. And I thought this whole thing with them two is just childish, and I hate when Jackie wants to be liked. So I don't know. It just gets on my nerves. Like, she was getting on my nerves this episode, y'all. And I like Jackie, but she was working my nerves this episode. And they asked. Let me back up. They asked people how they felt about OG not being out there, and he said Mark said OG didn't want to come, and I'm like, that's not the truth. Y'all wouldn't let her come out here because even as OG was leaving, she was telling them, I don't want to leave. Let's be clear, y'all are making me leave. Cece and them didn't care because I don't think they really wanted to do it anyway, so they burnt off and didn't look back. But she was like, y'all are making me leave. And then for Jackie to be out there and saying, I don't know if she wanted to apologize. What does she have to apologize for? They have bullied her this whole season, and you've seen that, but you want to be with them so bad. And I don't know. Jackie was getting on my nerves this episode. Let me move on. So then, so the whole thing with her and Phoebe happened. I don't care. Y'all go, you make your own, form your own opinions about that. And then they talk about, what else did they talk about? Like, that's how much I was not paying attention. I didn't even write notes to, like, go down the list for it. But then they talk about, Shani and her family issue. I'm glad her son is doing okay, but Shani's boring to me, so I don't care about this either. So then they get to Jen, and they talk about Jen, and Shani's like, every time you talk about my husband, you're disrespectful. Like, shut up. That's not true. Because your husband cheated on you, that has nothing to do with your kids. That's what your husband did to you. And then they say, Shani was like, so you said that's not the truth. And Jennifer says, I never said that wasn't the truth about Shaq, I guess, not sleeping with Ellen. She's like, I never said that that was not my wording. And they're like, well, and Mark is like, and he's a trash host, by the way. Like, you could clearly tell that he has favoritism for Shani, and like, get a host who doesn't, like, who has no favoritism either way. They can criticize both parties. They can do both ways. Like, a lot of people were complaining about John Sally, but I thought he did a better job of not having an opinion on either side. Like, get a host that can do that, because this one is not working. But anyways, so Evelyn and them are telling Jen, like, you said this wasn't true, then you took it back and said it wasn't true or whatever. And Evelyn is just like, Jennifer is just like, I never said that didn't happen. And she said, because Jennifer did say that she feels like Shani lied about saying that about Shanice, because she was mad about, what Jennifer had said about Shaq. And she was just like, he slept with multiple people. So why does somebody bringing it up? Why is it that big of a deal? And I understood what Jennifer was saying. Like, this is how much y'all making me understand Jennifer. I understood what she was saying. Like, he's cheated multiple times. Everybody knows that. Look, you brought Gloria on the show because y'all tried to befriend her, acted like y'all was befriending her and everything, just to get on the last, this was way back when in the first season, just to get on the last episode, and everybody kind of turned on her because you were like, you knew your sister was sleeping, which if you knew that, I would have told her that was wrong or whatever. And then she got off that show, went over to the LA show. Y'all had to bring her sister on the show. And they were sitting on the couch like it would be no Basketball Wives LA if it wasn't for us. And that kind of is the truth, because y'all gave the show, they were one of the main characters that y'all did the show on. So for you to be like, oh, when you speak about my husband and all that, that disrespects my kids. Well, you brought two women on the show that you couldn't stand, but you had to, because you wanted that LA spinoff, you went ahead and let them on that show. So how is that not, like, isn't that disrespecting you? Isn't that disrespecting your whole, y'all divorced at the time, but isn't that disrespecting what was of your marriage and your children? If, like, it's unintelligent. That whole thing doesn't make sense what you're trying to say. And so that's why I'm like, you're just full of it. So then Shani is getting, and Evelyn's like, I could tell. Shani gets all upset and gets up and leaves, and Mark Lamont is like, are you gone? And she's like, I'm thinking about it. Girl, sit back down, because you know you're not going anywhere. Like, stop with all these dramatics. Oh my God, you're not going anywhere. And Jennifer is just like sitting there like, well, it is what it is. Like, if you expect Jennifer to say what it was that she said, I don't know what you want from her. Y'all already confronted her. She lied. She said, okay, yeah, I said it. Then she said, no, I didn't say it. And if you look at that episode where they were all in the, where they got in that trip when Evelyn threw that drink at Jennifer and then tried to buck up at Dominique, but then settled back down. Jennifer never said, she said, we both said some things, and if I said anything that hurt, she never said what she said. So I don't understand. Like, she never acknowledged it. You the one that's accepted the apology, and now you don't want to accept it because your daughter said something. And Shani, you were the one giving her hugs and all that. And they even talked to Evelyn about, like, it was rude, not kind of rude, but it was rude what you said about your mom dies and you become a jerk and all of that. That's insensitive, and that was rude. And I don't even like Jennifer, but that was a messed up thing to say. Or whatever. Oh God, this show gets on my nerves. It gets on my nerves. But anyways, so then he's like, oh, I'm like, that's it. I don't like Jennifer. It is what it is. Oh, and then Kristen tried to say something about Cece was the one that called. I would have loved for Byron, if Byron was here, to apologize. Like, I don't care. I would have loved for Cece to tell the truth, and she was the one. I don't care. I don't care. Like Kristen, we already know you're a liar, because Byron already came out and said I was never supposed to be at that dinner. Like, I would have liked for them to talk about that. If anything, I would have liked Cece and Byron to come out so they could address that with you or whatever. But yeah, I don't care. I don't care about that. So anyways, OG comes back, and I was pissed off that OG came back, because I'm like, what? Why are you back? Because I like OG. So I feel like if you had just left, I wouldn't even be having to watch it at this point. The only reason I was like, well, if she came back, let me see what she had to say. So she comes back, and Kwame is sitting down and everything. And OG says every time she has something to say, she gets attacked. And then Shani, Shani does her thing. And then OG was like, well, it's colorism. And some people are in the audience like, what? So the audience was split on, some of them felt it was colorism and some of them felt it was not. And then Phoebe tried, and then Kwame says he doesn't like, because OG kissed Kwame, and she says, I'm good, I got my man here. And they're all like, oh, I find that funny. What? Y'all are all single. Like, what are you talking about? Y'all are all single. And if she's happy with Kwame, who are we to say something? Like, she's happy with him, and he was right there with her, supporting her. So anyways, they dismiss the whole colorism thing. Shani says, oh, you just go too far with it and everything. So then Phoebe starts talking, because she and OG get into it. And Kwame says he doesn't like that he was caught. Phoebe, I guess, had called him something. And he was upset about it. He said he didn't like that. He was like, they're all bums. What did he say, bums? Anyways, he said they're all full of it on the stage or whatever. And, and so he and Phoebe start going at it, and he says, get a man. And she was like, I got a man, and they make more than you. And then, oh my God, OG started talking about her lace front, because her lace front was starting to mess up. Now, I didn't think OG's eyelashes were cute, but, and I thought Phoebe could have looked nice had her lace front, like, I forgot about her when I was talking about people, had her lace front not started to wrinkle up, and OG called her out for it or whatever. And so they can start going back and forth, and Lamont Hill is like, whoa, this is a mess, let's stop this. So then that's how it go off. We're gonna come back with the next episode next week. It's a mess, y'all. It's a mess, and forgive me for this video. I might take notes next week, but I probably won't. I'm like, because I'm just over it at this point. Like, there's so much going on with Basketball Wives. I'm just so over it at this point. Like, I don't even care anymore. Like, the whole lawsuit with Evelyn is just a joke. It is a complete joke. Like, girl, we've seen you. You've defamed your own character. Like, how can you say somebody cost you endorsements? And you're telling us from September the 11th until whenever you did the lawsuit. And you know it takes time to put a lawsuit together. You're telling us from that time to here that you, girl, please, like, stop it. Don't even. Like, just the time frame of it doesn't even make sense. And then for Shani to act like, oh, colorism isn't, like, this show is not colorist, and I've worked hard and whatever to be accused of this. Y'all have been accused of this. Y'all have been bullies. Y'all have done all this kind of, like, people have been saying this kind of stuff. And the more we look, and then Malaysia and all them tried to say like that, oh no, that's not true. And they're like, Malaysia, you're not even the same color that you were. And OG is like, you allegedly bleached your skin and all that kind of stuff. And she was like, Kristen and Jen, do y'all feel like you have to do something to fit in, or you have to? Yes, they did have to do like, y'all all have to kiss Shani and Evelyn's behind to fit into this group. And that's just how it goes, period. And Jackie as well. And they were like, and this isn't even their group. This isn't even their group. They came into you all's group. And OG was right when she was like, Malaysia, they didn't even like you. They did not even like you or whatever. And then there are so many incidents where, remember when Malaysia pulled up and it was Brandy, like all this different violence, but for some reason the darkest skinned woman is being pointed out as being so violent and all that kind of stuff. And then there was one thing there, they said like OG was trying to get at Phoebe and she pushed Shani or something like that, and I'm like, isn't it how it goes in all the, like, every fight you see on this show or any reality show, there's always someone getting pushed if the person is trying to get to their, oh child, bye, I can't.